stop what you're doing. This is Bitcoin's biggest moment ever. Trump just dropped a bombshell that could crush the Fed and crown Bitcoin as the U.S. reserve asset. Larry Fink from BlackRock is screaming 700K Bitcoin, and nation states? They're about to be in an all-out sprint to stack sats before it's too late. Still think fiat's the future? Think again. The biggest players on the planet are making their moves. This doesn't get you fired up about Bitcoin. Check your pulse and call a medic. We got a lot to get to. Send it! Trump just shattered the financial world's status quo.
This reduced the cost of virtually all goods and services. It'll make the United States a manufacturing superpower and the world capital of artificial intelligence and crypto.
At the World Economic Forum, he called America the world capital of crypto. I kind of puked in my mouth at first. Definitely was a phrase no one saw coming. We are currently here. A pro-crypto administration is better than an anti-crypto one, but a pro-Bitcoin administration is even better. Right now, we have a pro-crypto administration. Don't worry, it gets better. Trump signed an executive order banning CBDCs and announced the exploration of creating a strategic Bitcoin reserve for the U.S. and protecting self-custody, miners, and node runners. Not that they really need it, but it's a nice gesture. Man, this is a move straight out of a sly roundabout way to end the Fed playbook. Decentralization over control. Banning CBDCs is like taking the Fed's leash and replacing it with a shock collar. Sure, Trump's broader focus on crypto shitcoins raises eyebrows for us Bitcoin maxis, but it is undeniable that this is a seismic leap toward Bitcoin's mainstream adoption. The message is clear. The Fed isn't untouchable anymore.
The interest rates will come down.
You said that you would demand that the interest rates come down.
Well, I would. I would put in a strong statement.
Do you expect the Fed to listen to you?
Yeah.
Here's the hard truth. Bitcoin's supply is finite, and the demand, it's about to go through the roof. BlackRock alone manages over $10 trillion in assets. If they shift even 1% into Bitcoin, well, that's $100 billion flooding in. Now imagine if the top U.S. banks, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, if they allocated just 5% of their $30 trillion in assets. Well, that's $1.5 trillion in new Bitcoin demand.
Mr. Fink, are you going to follow Donald Trump's plan and get rid of DEI and ESG in your companies? BlackRock really is the opposite of Donald Trump in so many ways. You're authoritarian, you're anti-populist, you're top-down. Are you going to change it all in light of the U.S. presidency?
Not surprised that Larry didn't answer those questions, but he did answer this. And well, if his obfuscation of questions was intentional, his response here must be as well. Strap in.
Most of the money that we manage is retirement savings. So you ask yourself, why on earth would anybody invest for a 30-year outcome, or 40-year outcome of retirement, unless they're hopeful that in 30 or 40 years, the world's better? And so the whole foundation of what we have done is the foundation of hope. And we try to promote that concept of hope and get more people to get their money out of a bank account and invest for the long term, right? Okay, and that's what we try to do. As I became a student of crypto, it was very clear to me that crypto is a currency of fear. And that's okay.
To some extent.
Yeah, but that's okay. Because if you're frightened of your debasement of your currency, or you're frightened of your economic or political stability of your country, you could have an internationally based instrument called Bitcoin that will overcome those local fears. And so I'm a big believer in the utilization of that as an instrument. And so, if that becomes true, and you see that it could be a proper hedge against maybe hope security or equities.
Yeah.
The question is, could you see a 2 or 5% allocation? I was with a sovereign wealth fund during this week, and that was the conversation. Should we have a 2% allocation? Should we have a 5% allocation? If everybody adopted that conversation, but, it would be 500,000, 600,000, 700,000 per Bitcoin.
But does it also?
I'm not promoting that, by the way. So that is not my promotion. Or
Larry, if you allow me, Bitcoin is just one use case of blockchain.
yes.
Right? Blockchain is a general purpose technology. It's just like AI.
Now we know what their end game is. Tokenization of the world, what have you. And if you know something is coming, you don't cry about it. Just buy Bitcoin and put it in self-custody so they can't enslave you with their digital fiat and backdoor CBDCs. Get on the arc because it's all coming. And let's look back at last cycle. I think we all know we got rug pulled. Think about everything that's happening right now. 1.07 million Bitcoin are left to be mined by 2140. And there's just 2.1 million or so Bitcoin on exchanges right now. Those 2.1 million Bitcoin add up to about 221 billion, which sounds like a lot. But when you think about all the money in the world, it's actually pretty tiny. And it's possible we may be hitting that crazy point on the S-curve where things just start going wild. Now let's look what happened after Trump was elected last time in 2016. Last time Donald Trump became president, Bitcoin did a 20x in 1 year. Am I telling you we're going to $2 million a coin? Maybe. Check this out. Just in, SEC officially announces crypto task force led by pro-Bitcoin Commissioner Hester Pierce. Tons of good news coming our way. Just realize there is Bitcoin and then there is shitcoin. Shitcoins are like alcohol and pharmaceutical products. Cleverly packaged poison. Guys, I don't know, but it looks like, sounds like freedom is winning. $1 million Bitcoin is inevitable. And if you ask Saylor, well, every catalyst to send Bitcoin to 5 million, they just ticked off. That's a lot of bingos.
But there are three things that are massive catalysts that cause an acceleration. And I don't think that those three things don't take us to 500,000. They take us to 5 million a coin, right? Those three things are a spot ETF where someone can go ahead and buy $100 million of Bitcoin, buy a security, an ETF security. I think that's one. Two is your bank is going to custody it for you and lend against it. And three is I can mark it up or mark it down on my balance sheet based on fair value. Pari passu. It'll be pari passu to the way I'd handle Apple stock, or at least that good. If you have property with fair value accounting, by the way, it becomes pari passu to the way you'd handle treasury bonds on a treasury balance sheet.
Holy crap, President Bukele of El Salvador just added 17 more Bitcoin to his nation's stack. And check this out, they bought more after a direct call with President Trump. Think about this. Nation states aren't just passively observing Bitcoin anymore. They're in an all-out race to stack sats. It's like the ultimate financial Olympics, and the prize? Sovereignty. Countries are waking up to the fact that Bitcoin is their golden ticket in a crumbling fiat system. More proof, breaking news, SAB 121 is history and now US banks can legally custody Bitcoin. The institutions that once ignored or mocked Bitcoin are suddenly desperate to join the party. But let's keep it real. Banks are like that guy that shows up late and pretends he's been there the whole time. Remember, Bitcoin was built to bypass banks, not include them. Not your keys, not your coins. Don't let their sudden FOMO fool you into forgetting Bitcoin's ethos. Massive news from BlackRock, Cynthia Lummis, and the WEF getting absolutely pwned. But before we bring it home today, look at our likes.
I'm having trouble.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and give us a pamp while we take a moment to recognize our sponsors, the masters of Bitcoin self-sovereignty, the Bitcoin Way. Simply Bitcoin Originals are powered by the Bitcoin Way. They've got 25 years of experience in cybersecurity. They are your IT team in the Bitcoin world. Whether you're just getting started setting up your first Bitcoin wallet or node, or you're looking into UTXO management, multi-sig security, inheritance planning, or accepting Bitcoin payments, they've got you covered. Time to go from the why Bitcoin to how Bitcoin, and the Bitcoin Way will hold your hand and guide you through every step of the process. Hey, if you're looking to get started, you can book a free 30-minute call using that link below. The Bitcoin Senator, Cynthia Lummis, is on a mission to make the U.S. the global leader in Bitcoin adoption. As chair of the Senate Subcommittee on Banking and Digital Assets, she's pushing for, well, a U.S. Bitcoin reserve. And imagine this, the U.S. setting a global standard by adopting Bitcoin as a reserve asset. Fiat systems would tremble and central banks would crumble. Bitcoin's absolute scarcity would reign supreme and do the rest. The tide is turning and Lummis is leading the charge. Not surprising, MicroStrategy just doubled down on their Bitcoin holdings and BlackRock followed up with another 344 million Bitcoin buy. This isn't just institutional interest. This is a full-on supply crisis in the making. MOAS. When two of the world's most powerful entities go all in, the message is clear. The Bitcoin revolution is here, and the best part, you can still get in before the fireworks really begin. Bitcoin is already 11% of gold's $18 trillion market cap, and the gap is closing fast. Why? Because Bitcoin is faster, easier to store, and impossible to counterfeit. Gold bugs, it's time to admit, Bitcoin is the digital evolution of your precious rock. The flippening isn't a question of if, it's a question of when. And Wolverine is back. Argentine President Javier Milei didn't hold back at Davos, slamming the WEF and declaring their influence over.
Slowly, an international alliance has been forming among all those nations which, like ours, want to be free and believe in the ideas of liberty. And slowly, what once seemed like the absolute global hegemony of the woke left in politics, educational institutions, in the media, in supranational organizations, or even in forums like Davos, has begun to crumble. And a hope for the ideas of freedom is starting to emerge.
This is the era of leaders who prioritize sovereignty and freedom. The tide is turning and the WEF's grip on the global financial system, well, it's loosening. Leaders like Millei and Bukele are proving that Bitcoin isn't just a currency, it's a revolution. Oh, and Trump also took the opportunity to slam the elites at Davos. Cheerio! Here's the truth. Bitcoin fixes the money. Everything else, they are shitcoins designed to rug unsuspecting investors. Bitcoin is decentralized. Shitcoins are centralized traps. They're vaporware. Don't fall for the noise, folks. Bitcoin is the answer. Always has been, always will be. Here's the TLDR. Bitcoin is inevitable. With Trump banning CBDCs, Fink calling for 700K Bitcoin and countries competing to stack sats, we're on the cusp of a monetary revolution. Happy birthday to Max Kaiser, and if you haven't noticed, Max Kaiser's favorite leading indicator, hash rate, it's going vertical. And Trump declared an energy emergency. Bitcoin mining is about to take over like you've never seen, which is why you can't miss Mining Disrupt 2025. It's the biggest Bitcoin mining conference on the planet, and it's coming to Fort Lauderdale, March 25th through the 27th. Get your tickets today and join thousands of Bitcoin mining professionals and enthusiasts from around the globe for an electrifying experience at Mining Disrupt. See the latest cutting-edge hardware, products, and services that are revolutionizing the Bitcoin mining industry. For over half a decade, Mining Disrupt has been the premier conference and expo exclusively dedicated to the Bitcoin mining industry. Be part of the future and join the movement that's shaping the world of Bitcoin mining. Don't miss out. Head over to miningdisrupt.com and get your tickets today. Use promo code SimplyBitcoin for 20% off. Oh yeah, I'm going to be there. Nico and Opti are going to be there, and we hope to see you there as well. Be sure to come visit the news desk, and do not miss Mining Disrupt 2025. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and give us a pant by sharing this episode with your friends who still believe in fiat fairy tales. Together, we will orange pill the world. Don't shitcoin. It's bad for you. Alex Stanzik, trademark. Hey, I love you guys. Catch you next time. Peace.
If you prefer to go down with the ship, you.